like right now.
Let's pretend Rose just on.
Ro just came on. I
Hi
remember.
guys, thanks for having me on your show today.
So, Ro, where were you bred?
I'm from Texas. Yeah.
Sound like Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio right now, Denise is just holding her dog in front of her face and pretending to talk like she's the dog.
She won't move.
She's so cute. What kind of dog is she?
We think she's like lab, pit. Some people think Chihuahua. I don't know, terrorist.
Oh, that's so.
Combo of everything.
That's so awesome.
Anyway, I'll put her down.
I remember when you were skeptical of getting a dog.
Why was I skeptical though? Because I've always wanted a dog, and I've actually had 2 dogs before this that they didn't make it.
But you remember though, right? You were like, no, yeah, I remember you talking to me about this. You were saying that Ash wanted to get a dog, and she was looking at dogs, and I think we were working in Rochester, and you were like, I just don't know, I'm not sure, and now all you do is post about the dog.
I'm obsessed with. I always wanted a dog. Just I had 2 dogs before. The first dog I got was this pit bull that was found in Philadelphia, and I'm like, I'll take it. So I took it, and it was gigantic, which I'm scared of big dogs, but I took it, and then I realized we couldn't bring her to the gym because of rulings. So I had her for about 3 days, and I had to return her. And then 3 months later, I thought it'd be a good idea to get another dog. So I got a Chihuahua.
Reza used to have a Chihuahua.
I had a Chihuahua.
Yeah, I loved that. It was great. But you could take her from the shelter, and then if it didn't work out, you could take her back, which is kind of mean, but thank God, because I had to take her back. So that's why I was skeptical.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice option, because I know there's a lot of people out there. I've never met anyone who did this, but you always hear about people getting dogs and they realize they can't handle them and they just like abandon them.
Yeah.
So
I would never abandon it, but
it's nice that the shelter gives that option to give it back, you know?
It's like a tester. Hey, take a dog for a few days.
Yeah, exactly.
Bond with it and then send it back and break its heart. But when I took the other one, I took the Chihuahua back, and it was hours and days of me like in turmoil about taking this dog back. And eventually I was like, it's the best thing for the dog. And so I get back into the shelter, and I put the dog on the counter, and she literally pounces into the lap of the person behind the counter. I was like, great. I had all this like turmoil about bringing this poor dog back. He doesn't even care.
Doesn't even like me. Oh my God.
Now I'm in love with her. I'm obsessed.
That's amazing. Well, I just gave the other day I just gave my dog a haircut, because all the I don't know, did you see that, Reza? Did you see that?
Yeah, it looked like a pretty
Oh, it's not good. Riza, so my dog's name is Riza, not to be confused with Reza. Have you met Reza in person before, Denise? Reza, have you met Denise?
Yeah, she gave me my level 1.
Yeah, we did level
2.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we went to level 2
together. Everything I know about CrossFit.
Oh man,
that's amazing.
Not good. Not good.
So I tried to shave
one
my dog.
I think we have a delay, Pete.
Yeah, we've got a little delay. I was gonna say I was trying to shave my dog, and it went horrible. She's like, well, it's not that bad. A lot of the hair's off of her body, and she feels good, but she definitely doesn't look good.
Wait, is it what kind of dog is it? A golden doodle?
It's a golden doodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to have long hair, right?
They're supposed to. Well, they just don't shed, so they've got like they grow super long hair, and it never really falls out. So it gets all matted, and eventually you just need to shave it. So that's what we tried to do, and it's a little bit of a hack job, but it'll have to do until we get out of isolation.
So you're shaving Riza.
Yeah.
Not exactly. Reza. You're not shaving.
But Reza did try to give his own head a shave, which is a whole nother story.
It's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's
Right?
not too bad. Not too bad.
It's coming back in, so it doesn't look as aggressive.
Was it fully shaved under that hair before and you look like Charlie Chaplin or something?
No, it was just like I get like froey hair, so like my hair just comes out. So I just took a clipper and just did one of these.
That's impressive.
That's not bad.
My hair is so long right now that I think if I was turned the other way around, you'd think it was like a scarecrow or cousin it or something. It's nasty, which is why it's up like that. But that's first world problems, you know. I think we'll live.
Okay, so Denise, let's. I want to give the listeners here a little bit of a background on you. You are an ex-soccer player, or a footballer.
Let's call it that.
Ex-footballer, English footballer, and you're a level 1, level 2 Flowmaster working for CrossFit HQ. So some might say that you are one of the best coaches in the world.
So
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, and Reza and I have both had the chance to experience it firsthand from you. But we're obviously in a little bit of a crazy spot right now because we can't exactly do what we normally do, coaching CrossFit in the traditional sense, one-on-one. So I want to know, how are you, as one of the best coaches in the world, how are you handling this whole thing? Like, you also work at Reebok headquarters. No, Paul just jumped in here. He's coming in. You work at Reebok headquarters. So why don't you just give us a bit of, how you've been handling the whole situation and what you're doing with your different positions.
sorry, I just got distracted by the fashionably late comer.
DT, my apologies. My sincere apologies. Go on.
She's just about to tell us what she's been up to, like coaching wise, now that she has to do everything from the basement of glory.
Yes, the basement of glory. Well, so
Like,
when
what's
this
your day
all
look
happened, yeah, it's pretty like hectic, honestly. I thought because we'd be working from home, it'd be a lot more relaxing and what have you, but it's actually not. It's full press court or full court press, how do you call that? From the minute we wake up, like I'll get up around 6 and I'm going till maybe 6 or 7 at night and just have to switch off. But we immediately switched to YouTube. We went to YouTube Live, and we were able to do that because I think you have to have like over 1,000 followers, which I guess is not a lot for many people, but we were able to do that. And YouTube Live was great because it gave us the opportunity to just start running classes straight away. So we ran a 6:30 a.m. at-home fitness class, which was kind of like, we'd always offer the CrossFit version, but then we have a minimal equipment version and a zero equipment version. And that was the first week. So we couldn't see anybody. Like, now Zoom is the thing. We just did our first Zoom class today because of analytics and data tracking and things that we want to report to our higher up. So we're on YouTube Live. Since that first week, we've added a 7 a.m. stay-at-home abs with Connor T. Murphy. Who just does them so at the end of the day he can lift up his shirt and show how ripped he is. Yeah, that's it. Abs. 7 a.m. abs with Connor.
Oh my God, I love it.
And his tagline at the end is, if you don't have them, see you tomorrow. If you do, great. See you later. It's like every time. We do that, and then 9 o'clock, sorry, I'll tell you kind of the day. At 8 o'clock, we always have a team huddle with all the coaches. So Austin Maliola leads that. And then 9 o'clock, we have yoga with our second floor fitness instructor. And then at noon, we have the at-home fitness class. So we moved it from 6:30 to noon because we weren't getting as many people joining at that time because, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but the Reebok headquarters is a corporate gym. So most of our members they're working today. So our busy times actually are midday, but they get that hour break. Whereas in other gyms, I think the busiest times are like your 5 a.m., your 6 a.m., and your 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. for us, it's like the middle of the day, and it's the time where they almost have this pass to work out. So we moved it to noon anyway, and we got more engagement. And then we have a 4:30 mobility class with Kevin O'Connell, and it's all YouTube live. So we're able to store it on playlists, and a lot of people go back and watch them after, and we use comments in the comment section, but we can't see. So that was always a problem. So today we launched our first Zoom class, and I think we're going to run them concurrently going forward.
You're going to run them along with the live on YouTube. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And you guys, you guys
can.
totally got rid of the 6:30 a.m.
Yeah. We didn't. We have now Conor Murphy's 7 a.m. abs, but
Oh, that's right.
It's manpower too. It's funny. You think you have all these coaches and what they're doing, but they're slammed all day with other things, because the other part of our job is working for Reebok at HQ, and we've now pretty much taken over developing content for other parts of the company, in not just in North America, but the rest of the world, like the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and we have retail accounts. There's Amazon. Like we're doing all kinds of fitness, wellness, nutrition videos for them, on top of the stuff that you guys know about, member retention and challenges and gosh, you name it. So, but I think the 6:30 class, I liked it. I liked getting up and doing it, and I think other people would like that too. So I do miss it. So maybe we'll bring it back.
So you were usually pretty fired up at that time of the day. You were bringing the energy. I saw some of the posts that you were making on Instagram, and I laughed at the one where I was laughing at your expense when you hit your head on the dumbbell.
Oh, the plate. I for sure thought I had enough
plate.
room there, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, I like the morning classes. They're fun.
Do you find the Zoom classes challenging as a coach? Like, do you find them awkward, or are you just so outgoing that you're just like, screw it, this is easy. It's the same as in person, and I'm just gonna bring it. Like, I know there's a lot of coaches out there like finding it hard to do the Zoom, and they find it awkward because they're talking to a screen. They need to come up super close to the screen to see people's faults if they're trying to give them coaching. Yeah,
get lower.
Exactly. Like, how do you find it, and how do you deal with that stuff?
Well, I'm no expert on Zoom because I just did my first one today, but I will tell you, I prepped a lot for it. I know Austin's gyms, One Nation gyms, have been doing Zoom classes for a while, and the reason we switched is because they get a lot of people that want to join because of that accountability, because you can see them. So this was my first class. I actually have my board right here of just a couple of things that I prepared, because I think the thing with Zoom and in YouTube is you can't see people in front of you, so you have to think about who's the person behind the camera and what questions do they have, and then prepare to answer those questions before they even get asked. And so a couple of things I'll just show you.
I guarantee you that board is full.
There
we go. Exactly.
No space wasted.
Yeah.
Love it.
We know how you do.
But on here I have hello, 2 minutes. That never happens. It's always like 6 minutes because I talk a lot, as you know. But as soon as the introductions are done, just having them mute their cameras or their speakers just to get rid of any background noise. And then asking people if they are comfortable with having the camera on, and making sure that the camera is tilted into a position that we can actually see their movement, which I didn't do today. So we were doing these like laying toe to bar, which is so hard, but all I could see was literally, they'd be like, you'd see this, and then you just see this. And I'm like, good job, Emily. You're doing great. And I couldn't see anything. So
the toe just
that's
pops
something
up.
I'd probably, I was like, I think they're doing it right. And then just walk them through a little bit of the screen share stuff. Like this morning, it was a dramatic start for me. So I put on the A-Team theme tune, and I pulled up a picture of, I can share it with you. You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can share. Oh man, hold on. Let me go back out. I'll show you in a second. I think I deleted it. But I put up a picture of B.A. Baracas, and it was like, welcome fools, with the A-Team. Just stupid things, like, hold on, let me see if I got
like
it.
as your background?
Hold on.
I should like screen shared it.
Oh no, I screen shared it, but I should have done it as a background because we do Quizzo on a Friday, and I don't answer any questions. All I do is continuously change my background.
That's amazing.
1 minute I'm in the Bahamas, next minute. So, just a little kind of welcome for them. And it was the first one.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Dream
Welcome
Team.
to the Dream Team. Yeah. So I popped that up. So this is all the prep. I mean, I guess it goes into like preparing lesson plans. And then because we have 3 different options of the CrossFit, minimal equipment, zero equipment, you have to plan for that. So we can do a general warm up together where everybody gets through it, as you guys know. But then as you go into the specific, you have to say, all right, Paul, you have a rower. You're going to pull for like 30 seconds. And, oh, but Reza, you're going to do the double under option. So what you're going to do is hit 15 seconds of singles and then 15 seconds of dubs. And for you guys that have no equipment, you're going to be doing the reverse lunge and lateral hop option. So I'd like you guys to work through 3 each side and then 10 hops. And I'm just going to watch in and see what's going on. And then I'm going to see what's going on, do one of those. And then offer some tips. So like, hey, Paul, on the rower, just delay those knees. Or hey, Reza, you got to get the rope under your feet. Have a little fun with them. And so that was stuff that was my first time, and I had a really good time with it. I put a timeline up too because we try and keep them at like 45 minutes. This was a long workout today. It was 20 minutes, so that was tough. But I don't feel awkward. I just have a really good time with them, honestly. But I was nervous. Like I prepared. I got an extra screen up that I couldn't work. I was like trying to frantically set it up before. I'm not very tech savvy. So I went with just the one screen. But I have a lot of experience on Zoom just from other calls, like pinning the screen so you can really see people big, and then going back to gallery when you want to make sure you're not missing anybody. But anyway, I'll let you guys take the floor back.
No, that's really good.
That's fine. How many people did you have in that class this morning?
We only had like 10.
Okay.
We've been trying to figure out ways to get more people, but I think, like I said, a lot of our members, they're just working through the day, and they'll go back later and do the YouTube classes. But this was a pilot today, so I just tagged a couple of people to join, and but like I got like 5 people said at the last minute, and even after the class, were like, oh, I was all set to do the class, and then I got pulled into a meeting. So that just happens. But we're trying to. Maybe you guys have maybe it's a little different, your business model, but we're trying to pump it up.
Well,
What about
we're running Zoom classes, and I think what you're saying is, a lot of people can take that and use that to their advantage to try and entice people to come to the classes, like in terms of being prepared. Like sometimes just knowing that it is a different environment and it's not going to be the same as walking onto the floor in your gym and running the class that you've done 100 times. We talk about needing to be prepared for those classes, even though you've done them so many times before. This is totally different. And if your athletes are a little bit skeptical of the Zoom environment and they're coming in and you're not prepared, and it's just sort of like a half-ass Zoom class, they're going to be a little bit bored. They were already not really feeling the whole Zoom virtual class idea, and then it was just a bit of a flop. Then they're not going to want to come back to the next one. So it'd be cool if you took those after you got a couple under your belt, took your lesson plans and threw them up on your DT lesson plan Instagram so that people can see the virtual lesson plan. Take some tips from it.
I did pop up a note saying that it was coming, but it was like the YouTube version, and you still have to prepare for that. But I think I'll do that. There's a lot of people out there that are doing Zoom classes now. I'm sure they have a lot of really good tips. But one thing is really important: marking where your computer has to go, and then marking where you have to stand, and having the proximity between the computer. Because I've seen videos where people are just talking and it's like this. All right, guys, welcome to your Zoom class today.
Yeah.
And then it's not till after you're like, oh, well, so that really helped. But I think what you said about having people do it and enjoy it. One thing I'll put on my post is like, all right, your job today is 1, to show up, and 2 is to text 3 people right now and say, hey, join me here at this time and just trust me. And, you know, if they get even 1 person, it helps. But I think a lot of people, their aversion to working out is that it's just a chore. So these at-home fitness workouts where it's just a body weight option, I mean, it's literally jazzercise. You're jumping up and down. Like, I've never felt so much like a step instructor in my life. And it's great. I feel great after. I'm like, I'm warm, ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want to do a workout after, you can. But I think just doing something is better than doing nothing. So any of these platforms are great.
Agreed.
So what's the deal with Reebok and like all the members that you guys have based on like layoffs? Like have people been laid off at Reebok?
I haven't heard of people being laid off at Reebok.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure employment's down across the whole United States. I'm sure in Canada too, but no one that I know directly, I've not heard about that. No, because I think while business is, you know, it's definitely on the decline, they're still making money. They're still, you know, doing everything they can. So jobs are still needed. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
What about so you guys, because your gym is open.
You're frozen. I'm frozen on Paul.
Is it frozen? Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because the gym is open to everyone in the building, right?
Everyone in the whole building, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So who has access to your Zoom classes? Anybody who has a membership to the gym?
Yeah. So we have our internals, which is all Reebok employees, and externals, which is any resident of the building. So we just put out separate communication. We have communication that is joined, but we have our internal communication for Reebok, which is Yammer, which we post on there all the time, every night, all day. And then for the externals, we have to send them emails. But we just have to be careful about how many emails we send out to externals, because a lot of our membership there are open gym and they don't do classes, and some people don't want to be bothered. So we try to be cognizant of that. And then when there's something like this, we'll reach out. But it's definitely tricky trying to balance the two, but that's how we do it.
And have you guys decided to offer some virtual classes with the other services that you have? I don't know if you guys talked about that before, but because obviously the Reebok gym is not just CrossFit, right? There's stuff at the upper level of like yoga and boot camp and boxing. Like, are you guys following the same trend with those communities?
Yeah, we have. So Connor, he oversees the second floor instructors. There's a whole load of them. So we offer still our Les Mills classes, the grit and the body pump and the body, all the stuff that can be offered. And they're doing their own YouTube classes as well as yoga. So yeah, it's still going on.
Still basically business as usual.
It's crazy. It's so busy. And because you're at your computer, I mean, we had to have a cutoff. Like, we had to say to people, okay, we won't reach out after like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And, you know, you put your computer down. You're probably working more at home than you would at the office because you're not distracted. So you're able to just sit and get in the zone. But people have, you know, it's easy to just open your computer and check that email. It's like, no, you gotta shut off.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything for HQ right now? Anything extra for like their whatever they're coming out with online stuff?
Yeah, we did. We helped with the lectures. There's a seminar, there's a webinar, and then there's the seminar, the lectures that are online, which is just being launched. So I helped with just kind of reviewing that stuff and being a guinea pig for the virtual webinar, which was really fun. I got my butt handed to me too on the push jerk. We call it spotlighting. I got spotlighted for throwing my hip forward on the push jerk. It's so bad. that I don't know how to correct it. So Nicole Christensen got on the line with me and was like, you got to hit triple extension. And I'm like, anyway, I got spotlight and it was really hard. So, it's coming out, it's good. So when people do that for the revalidations, they're going to get worked because it's like you and 7, the instructor and 7 people. That's why I've been busy with that, doing that stuff. And then the regular other, admin stuff.
That's awesome. We were talking about this, the virtual level 1 the other day for the revalidation. There's probably a lot of people, at least, if the virtual stays for the long term, there's probably a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise go out and revalidate their level 1. But now if it's offered in this convenient way, maybe they're going to revalidate at home.
Pete, I'm telling you, like when I was going through it, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, where else are you gonna pay? Like, what is it? Like $750.
Yeah.
It's maybe 4 hours long, and you get the attention of one of the best trainers in the world. You and 6 other people. It's pretty much like a coach development program, and you get your level 1. Like, you can ask questions. You can dig deep. It's really cool. Like, I'm pumped. Like, I think people are really gonna like it. And we're going to get more revalidations because of it. It's just so convenient.
That's awesome. I signed up to take I signed up to just do the test. I know that we can't as staff take the webinar because we'll take up spots, but I signed up to take the test. So I'm excited to see that and do the little course. I guess there's recordings of the lectures and all this that I can watch and then take the test afterwards. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, the recordings are great. The lectures are awesome. It's just really well done. They did a really good job in such a short turnaround. And you ask the question, like, what are you guys doing at Reebok now since this happened? And people, you just can't sit back. You've got to like act immediately, and that's what they did. I mean, they turned that thing around in like a couple of weeks. It was crazy. Really impressive.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, PT?
I was going to ask if there's I really haven't been following it that much, but there's a limit of people in the level 1, the virtual level 1. It's going to be like 6 or 7 people.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what the test group was. So
okay,
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, don't hold me to that, but
that's cool. I'd love to be in one of your breakout groups in front of my computer.
Yeah, with me like this.
Yeah. What
is that? Is that a Canadian squat?
just getting judged.
It's honestly, I was stood there, and you kind of know, like, you have the gallery up and you're watching, and you pin somebody. It's like your turn's coming up, and you're like, I gotta work real hard here. And the minute you don't work hard, they see you. It's just like a level 1. It was like, God, when they would be like, all right, one more, and we'd do one more, and then they'd be like, all right, let's do another 2, and I'd be like, oh my God. And it was just like how the level 1 participants probably feel when we're like, one more, just kidding.
That's great.
I'm gonna do 10. I'm dying. It was so fun.
Well, that's cool that it's worked out. I was wondering, I mean, I think when we all switched to this virtual thing, we were all a little bit skeptical as to how well we would actually be able to coach through a screen, but it's not that much different. I mean, with you just eliminate tactile cues and there you go.
Well, I think it's also, like with the coach development program, right? It's like, well, what are you going to do now? People can't visit you. You can't visit them. And I'm like, this is great, because a lot of coaches are so heavily lean towards tactile cueing because it's easier to just almost like manually adjust one or have them reach for a target. Mm-hmm. This is great because the cheapest corrections are visual and verbal. So now you have to really be on point about what you're saying and how you're saying it, and be specific. So there's no better time than getting on coaching a Zoom class and really trying to enhance and hone in on those skills, because you don't have time to like blah, 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 or you can't touch them. You can't be there as that physical target. So I think it's great. I mean, what an opportunity. I mean, you could do a video and just watch yourself teaching something. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have all this time now. What people is, I don't have time to read the level 1 guide. I don't have time to do this. Well, now you do. So what are you going to do at the end of this quarantine? Are you guys going to have just wasted 3 months, or are you going to have done something? And I think that at the end of it, you're going to get those people again that are like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, there's no excuse now. There really isn't. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere.
I think this is awesome for the coaches development course because you're just eliminating the travel expense.
Right. I mean, the Zoom.
You can do
yeah.
You can do exactly what we normally would do in a coach's development day, right? Just by watching someone coach. Like you could just be a participant in their class and just watch. And then the class is over and then boom, we can give them feedback.
Yeah. And even, I mean, even what we're probably going to lean into towards is more like our sessions of just help teaching a movement or talking about programming and just honing things in. It's like a one-on-one personal training session and it'll be so affordable. I think it's such a, I don't, you know, thinking about it now, I don't know why we weren't doing this sooner. Seems as though we have the access, but that's one thing that this whole thing's done is it's made us all a little better. Computer stuff, phone stuff. I have some lighting. I got some peel and stick wallpaper back
I was
here.
just gonna say, you look so well lit. You are so well lit.
It could or could not be the halo light above the.
Yeah,
it's just
of
how
course.
I woke up.
I'm like this. Denise definitely got on Amazon and got some lighting of some sort.
For the basement of glory.
$37.99. The basement of glory welcomes you.
You look great. What do you think, Denise? Tell me this, because we're all like, you know, every gym is doing the virtual stuff, and we're all thinking like, why weren't we doing this before? We're gonna for sure keep going when we open up our doors. Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that the online stuff will stay and be as important as we think it will be when we are able to open our doors again, and when you're able to travel again and go see people, or when they're able to come to Reebok and do the coach development course like face to face?
Yeah, I think we talk about this a lot in our team huddles about we're always, you know, Austin's like, he's a big picture guy, you know, big picture guy. I'm not. I'm like a little picture girl. I'm like, well, what about that? What about that little smudged over? So we're always talking about what's next. And now we're talking about when we get back into the physical space. And I mean, it's not going to be like, oh, everyone pile in and resume business as usual. There's probably going to be a certain amount of people only allowed in. There's probably going to still be social distancing rulings. And I think just in general, there's going to be a work from home culture that's going to hit us in the next maybe 5-10 years anyway. So I think that it'll still be an offering, and maybe it should be, and for whatever people are doing in their gyms, different pricing. If you want an at-home fitness package, you could have that. But you guys know it's CrossFit. There's one reason why it's successful, and that's because of you work out with people together and you have fun and you interact and you have your community. And so I think I don't think it'll go away. I think some people will still want it, especially those that can't get in as often as they want. Do I think it's going to be it'll take over from what we used to do? No, I mean, I think at some point we'll just get back to business, but I definitely think it's coming. Like these work from home. I mean, Reebok has a 20% work from home policy anyway. So we have a lot of people that do travel a lot. They do work from home. So I think we will utilize that platform a lot going forward, honestly.
Cool.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. It's I like thinking about that, because it's like we think that we're all adapting to these things, and we imagine that, or at least now most of us are kind of settling into this routine or realizing that this will be a lot longer than we think. And we're thinking like, okay, well, this is kind of the new normal, but I'm not convinced that the online game will be as popular or as in demand that obviously it is now, because I mean, people have been working from home for years. The work from home movement is just huge now, obviously, because everyone is, but you know, we have a ton of members who work from home, but guess what? They love to get out of their house and still come to the physical gym. So I'm not convinced that like even when we are able to reopen back up, that it will be that important. But who knows, right? That's why I wanted to have your take on it.
I agree with you. I do. I just think some people might still want it, or they might think they want it, and then when they're in it, they'll miss what they had. I think just for our gym in particular, because people literally travel all the time, like all over to different markets, it'll be helpful. But I just, I don't think it won't replace what we have or what we had. But I do think that it'll never be the same again.
Yeah.
I think it'll be better. I really do think this is, not to get all like, existential, but I do think that it's tapped a couple of us on some shoulders and made us turn our heads and be like, hold on a second, what's going on? I don't think we're all going to be like meditating and, walking around with no shoes on, but I definitely think put things into perspective.
I agree. I walked into the gym the other day and I just had, this huge wave of nostalgia, and I texted the guys. I was like, I cannot wait to get back here and work out with you guys. Like, I will be so happy I feel like forever walking into that gym every single day after this. It's going to be crazy. At the very least with the virtual classes, it could, in my mind, it could open up an opportunity for almost a stepping stone to pull people into the live, like in-person classes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, we always talk about how it's the hardest thing is just walking through that door for the first time, and maybe that can bridge the gap a little bit for those people who are just feeling comfortable in their own house with their single dumbbell. And then they're like, I could throw on a virtual class and follow along. And then they get that little taste, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I see what CrossFit's about. I'm going to go down the street to the actual location and maybe start to do some classes. So it could be good and used as a stepping stone in that sense.
Denise, you said something earlier. You said when you start a class, or you wrote that on your board, you said, do you mind having your camera on? So do you ask your members if they actually want the camera on or off?
Yeah, if they want their camera on. Because some people, they want the class, but they're not comfortable with you watching them or other people watching them. So most people don't. They want their camera on. But yeah, we just check in. It's kind of like, when you ask people, hey, sometimes when we tactile correct, we'll put our hand on you here or here. Is that okay? And it's just kind of a in.
I think that's interesting. I think that links a little bit to what Pete is saying. And is if it's maybe some of the intimidation factor of going into a CrossFit class is wondering, are people going to watch me? Are people going to judge me? And if you can just kind of be a fly on the wall in a CrossFit class on your computer, then maybe that's a good introduction there. So I think that's super interesting that you even asked that. I would even think like, you don't have your camera on, don't be in my class. I can't coach you.
No, Paul, that's why nobody takes your classes. Oh, like games athlete, just doing what he does.
No. It's just like, I mean, you think of like, what's the point of being there if you can't get coached? But you're right. Maybe some people just want to watch,
Yeah. No, it's, of course, I'll always be like, your camera's not on, get out, just joking with them. But it is important and that's, again, it's just all down to planning, because once you're in it, it's just you again with your members doing your thing. But if you don't prepare for what you don't know, right, and what you do know, you might lose that person.
How's the fitness going? You working out a lot down there or what?
I'm jumping around and yelling a lot. let me tell you that. So I will say this, because a lot of gyms are doing Zoom, right, but not a lot are doing YouTube Live. And the YouTube Live is so hard because you're doing the workout with them. You just do it with them and they do it, but with the Zoom, you coach. So, I mean, there was a workout last week that had it was like an EMOM, and there was burpees on 1 minute and something on the other. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get these reps done in a minute and yell for these people. So, you guys all know Joe Maisley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe's known for his, woo! Like, he'll just walk in the gym and be like Ric Flair. And I woo a lot now in my YouTube classes. I'll be like, all right, I'm 5'8". Woo! This one's on, guys. Let's go. You know, I'm just like, I mean, you either are gonna hate me or you're gonna love me in these classes. You're gonna be like, that girl's annoying, or she's awesome.
Well,
but they're really hard.
the good news about the computers, you can just mute you when they get annoyed with your voice.
I say that too. I'm like, guys, I'm gonna be like yelling a lot and jumping around and like win. And if you don't want to hear that, just mute. But that's gonna happen because, well, one, I do it because I'm uncomfortable, so it allows me to not grunt. It just doesn't like let it. Woo! Versus. Anyway, they're hard. It is hard though.
So do you just rely on those classes for your workouts then, or you're doing any stuff on the side for your own? Like, are you following CrossFit.com or what?
No, I do the at-home fitness, and some of them are actually hard enough that I'm like, I don't want to do anything else. But, you know, I don't know if you know this, guys, but I'm not that strong. I know you look at me and what have you. So I might hit some like squats after, or like something like that. But some of them, they're the weakness work, yeah. But some of them are not that challenging. Where like I went as hard as I could, I wooed a lot, but I just didn't get what I needed. So I might then do like the CrossFit version after. Like today, I just did 3 minutes of burpees because I didn't coach the Zoom class. I didn't work out. I coached. We did 3 minutes of burpees after. I did that with the class, but I'm like, well, that's not enough for the day. So I'm gonna do the workout later.
Love it.
But I miss, like you were saying, Pete, I miss being in the gym and like throwing down with my friends and like talking smack to the members and like pushing myself. So like the other day I just needed to smash myself. So I did like the AMRAP 10 of the 5 shoulder to overhead, 10 deadlift, 15 box jumps, that AMRAP one. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to like punish myself. I'm like, I need this. So I'll do other stuff. Yeah.
I think it's an 18-minute AMRAP in the open though, no?
No,
it was 10.
No.
It's 10?
10.
Was that on the hand plan? I think that was on the hand plan today. Yeah.
No, the hand plan today is this. That AMRAP 20, 8 toe to bar, 10 dumbbell hang clean and jerk, and 14 calorie row. That's what we did today in our Zoom class. So I'm going to do that later.
That was a good one, right, Pete?
That was a great one.
He finished like fourth overall in the world.
In that workout?
That workout. That was
that's because did you do the special magic trick on the rower that was going around? Do you remember that?
No, I don't think I did a magic trick. Like what, come off the bar
again?
and just fall onto the rower?
You hit a pull and then you count to 7 and then you pull again and it like doubles your calories up or something like that. Tom Markhauser showed us.
No. I just blacked out. Yeah. That's all. I had Paul screaming in my face. I should do a little throwback Thursday to when Paul, the last like round or two, you were just judging me and just screaming in my face so loud. I couldn't do anything to just try and break the cord.
Because you were on your it was a redo. And
it was like, a redo.
So I was like pacing. Anyways, I knew you had to gun it in the last couple of rounds to get a big score.
Yeah.
I do like watching you guys throw down at your gym when you do your stuff.
We just try and mimic, what goes down in Boston with all the absolute animals working out all the time. Basically, the best facility for coaching and working out.
The what is?
Best facility for coaching and working out.
Oh, I think no matter. Austin would always say this, it's not like what you do, it's who you do it with. And it's so true. It's like, I mean, you could do the same workouts on repeat, like 5-day cycle for a year and just punish yourself every day. Try and beat the next person and you get pretty damn fit. But it is fun. It's a lot of fun. It's crazy though, isn't it? It's kind of sick that we enjoy that in a way.
Absolutely. But I mean, every CrossFitter's got that same mindset, I think.
Yeah. No,
guys, I don't want to be rude, but I gotta go. I gotta coach a boys and girls club kids fitness class, so I'm just gonna hop out.
Reza, are you gonna woo?
Have fun.
You're doing some wooing?
Oh man, with the kids, you think it's challenging with adults? Imagine with little kids. Like you gotta have so much fun. And Yeah,
Do
Denise,
the
thank
18.
you.
18. Thank you. Good to see you.
We'll see you
See you,
soon.
Rez.
Okay, see you,
Bye,
Rez.
guys.
Hey.
Denise, you're doing you work the CrossFit training Instagram, right?
No, I don't. Sometimes I do like some, like moderating here or there, but I don't. No, I don't run that or anything like that.
Are you just because I know that obviously some of the CrossFit training stuff has slowed down since we don't have seminars and stuff. Are you, besides now that the level one's launched, are you, besides working on that, doing anything else with, we've noticed that pretty much every single social media platform has relaunched. I was wondering if maybe you were getting involved with that or if any more work for them has been put on your table.
No, I mean, I know what you guys know. It's like when it pops up, it's like, yes, it's back,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, guns blazing, let's go. So I don't know what the plans are going forward. I do know that you probably noticed when they're doing these support your local box workouts that they've called on different people to do these fun, like silly general warm-up kind of things, like lighten the mood. And so they, like always, they'll like pull on people, trainers in the community to record something and send it out.
Yeah. I saw Melody Feldman's, do you see her video of that pull-up or the ring row thing with the sheet? That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, we're going to get, this is awesome. I'm like, someone's going to do it wrong and they're going to pull the door frame off.
Do you follow, do you even lift on Instagram? It's just workout fails.
No, but I will now.
And there's a whole bunch of, quarantine workout fails where people are trying to use just like at home items to work out. It's hilarious. People falling off sheets. Like someone was trying to do incline bench in a plastic Adirondack chair and the whole thing just it crumpled. Like,
Rob Lawson had a good video though.
His video was so good. I messaged him after. I'm like, okay, what camera are you using? How do you do the magic trick? Like what? It was so good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What kind of camera did you use?
Like the Oni, like, what's it called? Here, I have it right here.
Some half professional.
It's got like, no, it was like 300 pounds. So I don't know, like 300. It was like a tiny little, like with a gimbal on it. It's the DJI Osmo Pocket. It's like a 3-axle gimbal stabilized with integrated camera, compatible use with the smartphone Android iPhone. Looks like that. It's a tiny little thing. But he also has like, he has help, I think, with a guy that edits. Like, I just learned how to use iMovie like last week. And I went down the biggest rabbit hole. Like, I was in the black hole of like putting captions on and fading in and fading out. I felt like I used iMovie like 10 years ago in college.
You can get really carried away with that stuff.
It was so fun.
Everyone is just trying to become a videographer.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a lot of new YouTubers after this.
Yeah.
I'm like just hanging on by a thread trying to figure out so I have these lights. They're like, I've got to show you.
Yeah, show. I want to see.
Yeah, spin us around.
Well, I'll.
Oh, nice! Wow,
Denise, those are the exact same. I got the exact same ones.
Yeah, they're like $100, right? And I'm like, oh, sick! I got these like photography lights, and I got the white wall, that you can pin up. I have not put that up yet, and I peel and stick stuff up, and I'm like, it's great. And he goes, well, what kind did you get? And I'm like, I don't know. They cost me like $100. I like, whatever. If I walk past them too fast, they'll fall over. Like that's how lightweight they are. They're not at all. So I go over to the Handplan studio, give it its right name, and I went in there, and they had like, it looked like MGM, like, Steven Spielberg's hand of God had touched these lights. These lights were like $2,000 each, and I'm like, oh. That's why my lighting and my microphone. You know
what I use for light for our videos? I have one of those good mood lights that you turn on. It's supposed to mimic like the sun.
Is this what you do, Pete?
Yeah, exactly.
We know what you do because we see it in the mirror of your videos.
Oh yeah, that's right. So anyway, that's got moved from the kitchen downstairs. So I just use the good mood lighting.
Good mood lighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a bad mood lighting?
I don't know. I don't think so. No. Maybe it's the moon instead of the sun.
Moonlighting.
What'd you guys talk about in the first 10 minutes? What'd I miss?
Oh, not
Just
much.
about how you
We're talking
relate.
about dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff that you don't like anyway.
Oh, okay. All set.
Denise, I got a serious question, and then I got a couple. I got some funny questions I want you to answer. Because I just started thinking about it because we already talked a little bit about it at the beginning. I called Denise one of the best coaches in the world, and then we talked about it a little bit. Denise, you were even mentioning that, and if you listen to Best Hour of Their Day with Jason Ackerman, I think he introduces every level 1 coach that ever comes on as one of the best coaches in the world, and it's something I agree with, and I feel very blessed to be part of a team of coaches that are so good and so highly regarded. But maybe you can help answer this question: is like, what is it that makes us the best coaches in the world? Like, what are some of the qualities and some of the things that we can stand up here and on our soapbox like Austin Maliello and call ourselves some of the best?
Yeah, I love this question because it's what we close up the level 1 seminar with, Pete, and you probably, I don't know if you remember last time, but at the end we say, how do you become the best at anything? Practice. Like, master the fundamentals. Don't bypass the things that matter, the foundational pieces, and move on to the seemingly more sexy things before you've mastered them. What does true mastery mean? And I think that really 2 things. One, every level 1 seminar instructor understands that that's the priority. That's the foundation of what we do, is that you have to go away and you have to practice your craft. You're always going to get feedback, and you have to have tough skin, and you can't be like, yeah, but I was going to, because you didn't, right? You didn't do it. So we're giving you the feedback. Just take it. Thank you for the feedback. And I'll work on that. And that was some of the best advice I ever got when I joined CrossFit staff was, okay, one of my friends was like, it was like Dave Lipson. He's like, all right, at the end, they're going to give you feedback. And all you got to do is sit there and say, thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate it. And I learned, and felt that every time now I get feedback, even now, like 10 years in, you're giving me feedback. Thank you, Pete. And if I didn't understand something, I might be like, can you just elaborate on that? And be like, thank you. Don't be on the defense. That was something that was huge. And I think every level 1 instructor understands that that's going to happen, and it will keep happening. And we're never done. The journey's always continuing. There's always another place you can go to be better. And I talked about it earlier. What is mastery? Mastery is, at least I think in our line of work, is being able to master the 9 foundational movements, which means you can teach. What does teach mean? You can highlight every point of performance. You understand every progression. You know how to command it. You know where to pause them. You know how to specifically direct them into a position to eliminate error. That's teaching of the squats, front squat, overhead squat, press, push, jerk, deadlift, med ball, clean, sumo deadlift, high pull, the other way around. Then you have to be able to identify all the common faults and have multiple corrections for every fault. And that's just the common faults. We're not even talking about, the subtleties in dynamic, static movement, gross and subtle errors in a room full of 10 to 12, maybe 15 people, where at the end they learned something new, they got a little better, and they had fun. Like, that's true mastery of those 9 foundational movements, because in those 9 contains all the unchanging elements, so those athletic principles that carry over into all the other functional movements that we have, whether it's a muscle up, a pistol, and I almost sound like a broken record, but that's what sets the level 1 seminar staff training mindset apart from, I want to say, other trainers that, and it's not their fault they don't have access to, like you guys, you and Paul and Reza all work for CrossFit in some capacity, so you're constantly pushing each other. Well, what if you're, like you're Joe in the middle of Bermuda who only has an online resource? How's he getting feedback? So it is hard, but if you truly pay attention at the level 1 and at the end, you don't just close that manual and like use it as a, a doorstop, and you read it and you master it, you will be one of the best trainers in the world. Like, you will. And that's all we do week in, week out. We master the fundamentals, we get feedback, we make the corrections little by little, and then everyone's just really freaking awesome. like what do we always say when we have interns? It doesn't matter how good they are at coaching. If you can't be stuck with them in a hotel or an airport for 5 hours without wanting to kill them. They're not going to make it, because we don't really care about what you know or how smart you are. It's how well can you be on a team. Like the team wins, not the individual. So I think those are two key ingredients. Is like you have to be a really great person that just has this undying passion for service to others. It's not about you ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the other piece is that understanding that true mastery means just 100% commitment and dedication to your craft, from knowledge to doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. And like you said, it all stems from being open to feedback. I think being open to feedback, almost a prerequisite to taking feedback well, would be, being an awesome person, like you just talked about, that test, and then also being committed to mastery of your craft. Obviously you would be open to feedback if this is what you're committed to. So it all kind of comes back and funnels back to that idea of, the open concept of being able to give and receive feedback, and, and take it and then build on it. It's funny. I'm lucky enough to be married to a doctor, and she always talks about, in her profession in medicine, that's one of the key components. And, I listened to her talk with her fellow doctors on boards and within her clinics, and it's constant feedback, constant. They're constantly talking. And I draw huge parallels between, what she's doing in medicine and then what we're doing with our coaching, is constantly talking to each other, how to improve. And, it's going to be interesting. The best Zoom classes, the best virtual classes are going to be from people who have teams, support teams, who can, take the classes, or someone like yourself who looks at the class critically, and you're committed enough to your craft to actually write a lesson plan for a Zoom class, which you've never done before. And I'm sure, one of these days, Austin is going to take your class and he's going to give you some feedback on it, and you're going to do vice versa for him. And, I think it's that commitment to growth is a huge part of it. So that's cool.
Is there a moment in your coaching career that, because your answer is so good, that, you didn't just formulate that, like you've been, that's an answer that you've been working at for years and years. Is there a moment in your coaching career where you like watch someone coach and you're like, that is the best coach, or that is what I want to be, or whatever that person has, I need to be able to get there, and how do I do it?
Yeah, it happens every weekend when I work with all you guys. It's like, God, I got to simplify that. And, we all go on this journey with the seminar staff, right, where we're learning and we're nervous and we're just trying to get the content out and deliver a good group. And then we start to get confident and comfortable. And then we start to become like the PhD doctor and try to explain everything. And it's not enough. The press lecture is not enough. We must give them more, and then it's like we go around and then we realize that now we forget how to do the lecture simply. So we've got to go back to the drawing board, and we forget that we can create timelines for groups, and all they need to know is like arch, heels, knees, depth, and line of action. And that's going to be enough. And so, I've gone on this loop of all the things that every single coach does. I was like, oh, you're at that stage of your journey. You're there. Yeah. And, I'm at that stage now. After years of just like accumulating this stuff of looking in here and being like, do I do things simply? Do I have true mastery of these movements? Like that push jerk, the story I just told you where I throw my hip forward. I was so like, I guess humbled was one, but like embarrassed that I couldn't fix it. That I stayed down in my basement for 30 minutes after videoing myself trying to fix it. And it got better, but and that, when you say like what sets us apart, I'm like, no one's ever gonna say, well, Denise, but like I just wasn't, I wasn't okay with it. I was like, this is not okay. And so now just going back and making sure that my demos are on point. And so I think, to answer your question, Paul, I don't think it was like one moment. I just think it's a combination of watching the best, like we said, in the world do their thing, from like the person that's doing their first seminar to the person that's done 400 seminars. I'm always learning. And I think that's really what it is. And it just doesn't stop. So one time I was giving closing remarks and I started thinking about, I'm going to bring the staff up and I'm going to have them do like a 30-second kind of close the book thing on and ask you guys to give the participants one thing that you wish you would have got at your level 1 to like send you on your way.
How many times have you done that?
A few now.
Okay, because I was on one of the ones with you in Boston when you made us do that.
Yeah, and they hear from us, right, a lot, the Flowmaster, will like always up there, and I'm like, it'd been really cool at the end of my level 1 if each trainer would have got up and give us some like words of wisdom, on the way. So, I was thinking, well, what can I say? I don't want to like, and I reread the closing remarks, and it was like master the fundamentals, and I'm like, what better important words can you give to somebody of like, don't take that book and throw it away and don't look at it again. Because at the level 2, how many times are you like, hey, remember the push press progression? And they're like, honest, how many people here have never opened that level 1 guide since that Sunday afternoon when they closed it? And they're like, so I'm like, it was like through the level 2 and the level 1 and just seeing what happens 5 years down the road and what people are not doing. It's like, we need to stamp this into the ground right here now at the level 1 to tell them, don't come back in 5 years and tell me you don't know the push press progression. Because it is enough and it does need to be mastered and it's not easy to do. So I think that was, it wasn't like this one moment, but if there was one, it was then. It was in the closing remarks for that one seminar.
Awesome.
That's great. Denise, what now that we're in quarantine and you're stuck at home and the kitchen is so easily accessible, what food have you just eaten way too much of?
Cadbury's mini eggs.
Cadbury.
Ash and I have like together, we've probably been through like at least 10 packs.
Seriously?
Like,
is that just this
bad.
weekend because of Easter, or is this the whole time?
No, since the Cadbury's mini eggs were put on the shelves, like we started off with like 3 bags. This was pre-quarantine too. And like every time I go, we'll get like 2 or 3 bags. And so I do a nutrition support group for Reebok. We meet every Wednesday. Now we do a Zoom call, and I had to tell them that I had to put some parameters on myself. I'm like, all right, every time I go in the closet, I'm only allowed three mini eggs. And I can only go in the pantry 3 times a day, which is 9 mini eggs across the day. So I have to tell myself when I'm going and putting my hand on the handle, I have to be like, is it worth it? Do I really want these 3 mini? Is this the time? And then, I had to do that, and it got really bad. And then the other day we ran out, and I bought another bag. And I know when Ash has been in there because I put the mini eggs in a Ziploc bag, and I always lock the Ziploc bag when I'm done, and Ash doesn't. So every time I go in and the Ziploc's open, I know she's been in there. So I hid them.
Oh my God.
But they have been like, honestly, they've been a massive.
I love Cadbury mini eggs, but to be honest, I haven't gotten any. Now I'm a little bit disappointed because we were talking to one of our coaches last night too, and she was eating them, and now I have a craving. So after this, I'm gonna have to go out and get some Cadbury mini eggs, stock up a little bit before they put them away.
So you've been
so good.
You've been eating them for like 3 months, because as soon as Christmas is done, the Easter stuff comes out.
They come out. That's right.
So,
and then there's Halloween. I mean, it's essentially Halloween now, right?
We're eating Halloween chocolate now, next thing you know.
They're so good. Like my teeth have started hurting. That's something else. I was thinking about putting out like this public service announcement of there's no better time now to start flossing. If you're not flossing, you better start flossing, because you can't. The dentist isn't going to clean those teeth right now.
Yeah.
Get in there.
That's so true. That's so true. And what's and then last question, what's the longest period of time you've gone without changing your clothes?
Oh, I'm pretty like clean.
Okay.
I'm like real, like you guys know when you work with me, everything's got to have its place.
I've gone 2 days in the same outfit. I went 2 days. Normally that doesn't happen, but I went 2 days. PT, have you gone longer?
With the exact same outfit, like underwear and everything?
No, I mean, I changed my underwear, but like I take my clothes, I hang them, I put them up on the top of the door, and then when I leave the bedroom the next day, I put the same clothes on.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've done that.
What, like a week?
Well, I mean, I'll wear the same sweatpants. Like I have home sweatpants.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
So I'll wear the same sweatpants. Oh, I can go a week.
like if I'm going to the gym, like I'll usually change even my sweatpants. Like I'll change my sweatpants, I'll change my t-shirt, I'll go to the gym in a different outfit. But now I'm waking up, I put my boxers on, and I put the same sweatpants on, and I'm wearing the same t-shirt. As long as it's not excessively sweaty, I'm wearing the same t-shirt for like two to 3 days maybe.
Yeah, no, I do that too. Yeah, for sure. And we were doing so much laundry because Ash now, she's wearing like regular normal people clothes, and so now, and she's working out, so there's a lot. So I'm like, I gotta recycle some of these clothes.
Yeah.
You know. But let me ask you this: when you guys put jeans on, is it like a big deal now? Is it like date night?
It's a big deal. I haven't put them on in a little while though.
Haven't done it.
Me neither. I haven't either.
I can't remember.
The other day I put on just like some non-sweatpants. Like, this is nice. So I'm doing that a little bit more, but I haven't put jeans on yet. No. Like the other day I went when I went to the grocery store, I put on like a non-CrossFit shirt too. You know?
Who are you?
Non-CrossFit, yeah.
Why would you do that?
CrossFit or Reebok on it. It was really interesting.
Oh man, Jen's
But on a more personal level there, Denise, is Ash working from home as well, probably?
Yeah, she has a real job though. She has a Jen job.
Okay, so like you can't bother her because she's
a lawyer, so she has important calls, and I'll be like, you know, we have a downstairs toilet, so I'll just go into the toilet and flush the chain, and she's like, and I'll be like, you need to let me know when you have your calls. I'll be like making coffee, and so yeah, she's good though. She's got a schedule, you know. Yeah. She has a 5:15 quarantine fitness group that she runs. I hear her. She can hear me yelling all day down in this basement, and then when she comes down, she'll be like, "That's it, guys. You can do it."
That's good.
It's great.
You're not killing each other yet.
No, you know, like I feel. I might seem like I'm an extrovert, right? Because I'm pretty outgoing and blah, 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 but I'm not. I would define myself as an introvert because I like my space. I like quiet time. I like to recharge by myself or with like Ash, where extroverts can be characterized as people who recharge in a room full of people, like a Connor, right? Connor loves being around people. So this whole like quarantine thing is not being that challenging for me outside of not working seminars and seeing you guys and not seeing the members. Like I can stay at home all day. Like I'm okay with that. Like go take the dog to the park. Like nothing's really changed, and I've just had a lot of time to think and like just put things into perspective. Like I said, but I miss seeing people. But I'm like, we're fine. Like I think if you ask Ash, she'd probably be like, but I'm like, hey, let's do something. Sit here, come here, talk to me. You know,
you're like a little dog.
Yeah, I'm like, pay attention to me. Yeah, it's great. But I haven't spent this much time with Ash because I've always been traveling. So we've had all the week. Actually, Marin the other day, I guess like Austin fell asleep on the couch and Marin took a picture, and Ash reached out to Marin and was like, is it weird having Austin around all the time? She's like, yeah, on a Friday, I like to have my glass of wine and eat some bad food and watch my trashy shows, and now he's here. So Ash is probably the same. She would have a weekend to herself, right? So it's probably harder for her than me. I'm just like, hey, I'm home.
That's good.
How's your family, Paul? And both you guys. Congrats, Pete.
Thank you. Yes. Did you know both of our kids were born on the same day?
I did not know that. I knew it was close. I didn't know it was the same day.
Yeah, January 15th, both.
Wow. Wait, who came first?
Sienna.
Sienna. Sienna was, because we were planned C-section. So we were like early in the morning, and it was really funny because around like 4 p.m., like we're just chilling in the room, taking in this new baby. And then I get a text from Pete, like saying, like, guys, I think it's starting. And then I'm like, I told Sarah right away, I'm like, yo, they might have a kid on the same day.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it was 11:35. I'm looking at Jen right now. 11:38, I think he was born 11:38 p.m. So it was like right in the nick of time. Boom.
Just got it in.
Just got it in the 15th. Yeah.
That's
it was really
so
cool.
great.
So we'll bring him over for a second here. Say hi. He just woke up from a nap and had some food.
Hi.
Johnny.
Oh my gosh.
Say
Johnny.
hi, Johnny.
Johnny, look at the camera. Look, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
mommy's standing
What a
in front.
beauty.
Yeah. So he's doing great. He's found his rhythm in the
yeah, she has to, yeah.
He's found his rhythm in his sleep cycle now. So he's getting good long sleeps, and mom and dad are loving it.
That's all. It's nice that you can be home, right? Like,
I know it's a
both you
blessing in
guys.
disguise. Yeah, it's a blessing
Yeah.
in that sense. That's for sure.
It's been nice.
PT's got 3 kids there, so that's
Paul,
huge to be able to hang out with all
you
of them.
done? Are you gonna have more? Sarah's just like an savage. Yeah, just keep going.
Keep going. As long as Sarah wants to go, I'll keep going. I was telling the guys this when Sienna was born. I was like, I feel like I might be addicted to kids.
She's like,
I just want more. Then it made me realize, like, maybe I need to take a break and like just really enjoy this, like this.
Yeah. Live in the moment a little bit.
Yeah, and then live in the moment, and then COVID happened. So no, it's been good. It's been crazy, but it's been awesome.
Sarah's good.
Yeah, Sarah's
good.
great.
Yeah.
He's a champ.
Awesome.
He's an absolute champ.
Well, Denise, it's great having you on. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. I could talk to you all day.
I know.
I feel like we'll just press like unrecord and then we'll just like stay on and
just
chat.
Keep going.
Exactly. I'm gonna stop recording because people don't want to listen to us talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next time we'll have you on for another one. We're already starting to have our guests come on. We had Doobie come on the other day for his. He was the first repeat guest. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
I love him.
Depending
on. Is he still program for you or what?
Oh, yeah, Force 5 Force.
Yeah, well, didn't he program for you for a little while?
Yeah, and I loved it. And I honestly, my shoulder, not from Dubrek's programming, but I had an issue with my shoulder right before the Open. This Open just gone. So I've not been able to do and it's just wear and tear. But I'm old. I'm 40 now. I'm like maybe, and who knows what's going on with CrossFit. But I just honestly didn't have time to do it either. It wasn't like a lot. It was great and I loved it, but I had to prioritize. So I do the classes and just kick everyone's ass,
Just stay super fit, doing 1 class a day. How are you?
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I love Dubrek. He's great.
Yeah, love it.